I found out my wife was having an affair. I hired a private investigator, served divorce papers, told the other man's wife, and watched his life unravel in ways I never expected. It started small, the kind of things that don't scream cheating until you add them together. Our kids were about 4 and 6 then, old enough to tell you something about their day. They began mentioning that they were staying with my wife's parents during the day, which on its own isn't odd. But they lived 90 minutes away, and this was happening 2 or 3 times a week. That's almost every day she wasn't at her part-time job. When I asked, she denied it. She's always been a lousy liar, so I started paying attention to the mileage on her car. Sure enough, an extra 400 miles or so a week. One afternoon, I sat down at the computer and noticed a sticky note with her password next to the keyboard. I couldn't resist. I logged into her email and found exchanges between her and her college best friend. Casual at first, then filthy. They talked about how she was regularly sleeping with one of her high school exes. No real details about him, just jokes about his wife getting fat after kids. I printed those emails and hid them, but I wanted the whole picture. A cop friend recommended a PI he knew who'd left the force. Ronald came highly recommended. I paid his retainer, handed him the emails and what little I'd already pieced together, and let him do his thing. His report was thorough. Photos, timestamps, dates, locations. The pattern was brutally clear. Take the kids to her parents, meet the guy for lunch, spend a few hours at a crappy motel, pick up the kids, go home. It was methodical and disgusting. At that point, I hired a divorce lawyer. My childhood was wrecked by my parents cheating and the mess that followed. I couldn't let that happen to my kids. I asked Ronald to dig up everything about the guy, too. He did. His name was Bob. Married. 3 kids. VP of sales at his father-in-law's company. I had my lawyer draw up the divorce papers. Then I decided to pull the thread a little further. I asked Ronald for extra copies of his report and had him meet with Bob's wife to show her what he'd found. She seemed nice. She deserved to know. What she did next was on her. What followed wasn't pretty. Court records show she emptied their joint accounts, took the kids, and left. When her dad found out about Bob, he fired him. Because her parents owned the house, Bob was evicted. Their divorce turned violent. Lots of fighting in court and outside it. At some point, Bob went to the house and things escalated. Her brother stepped in and broke Bob's nose. There were restraining orders, police reports, criminal charges, jail time. I can't find Bob online now. Last I heard, he left the state. His ex-wife landed on her feet. She started working at her dad's company and eventually took over when he retired. As for me, my ex and I got along well enough post-divorce to co-parent. I didn't engage with her about anything except the kids. We both moved on. I don't hate her. I care insofar as she's the mother of my children and important to them. Beyond that, nothing. During the divorce, I did make her suffer in small, deliberate ways. She wanted to try couples therapy. I agreed, not because I wanted to reconcile, but because it felt good to lay everything out. How disgusted and disappointed I was. She'd leave in tears and sit in her car for a while before pulling herself together. Eventually, she canceled the remaining sessions, and the game was over. People on here sometimes ask why I seem more angry at the other man than at my wife. I was definitely angry with my wife. Don't get me wrong. I made sure she felt the weight of what she'd done. But I was angrier at Bob on behalf of his wife. She deserved to know, to have the choice. I lit the fuse. What happened after it was on them? I kept Ronald's report safe, tucked away in case the kids ever needed proof. I never told them the dirty details. I won't be the thing that drags them into the chaos I grew up in. They're adults now, and we don't talk to their mom at all. Really. In the end, Bob paid the price. His life collapsed because of choices he made. The fallout, losing job, home, family, getting hurt, the legal mess, that was theirs. I simply set the truth in motion. It felt like the only way to protect my kids from repeating the past.